Hello, Stropes here again. So this week we'll be playing with some new Jump to Light Speed cards. Really excited to. I've been playing with this a little bit off and on the last week. So I'm on the Swoo Stats deck builder, which is how I've been linking this deck in particular because of the new card Swarming Vulture Droid. So if Swarming Vulture Droid allows you to have up to 15 copies of the card in the deck, and I think currently on SwooDB, or at least for the last week or so, most of that week, you can't actually add 15 copies of Swarming Vulture Droid to your deck. So it only lets you add 3, the normal single card maximum, but you can on Swoo Stats. So if you are trying to include more copies in your deck, that is the way to implement that. I'm currently back down to 3. This deck uses the Dooku leader from Twilight of the Republic, so let me see, it's a little bit easier to pull these cards up on SwooDB at the very least, but hopefully this will stay up. It keeps going down, but Dooku allows, like, his action allows you to play a Separatist card from your hand, giving it exploit 1, which basically makes stuff cost 2 less. So really, especially like in his colors, there were not a whole lot of really playable stuff, because what you kind of want to do is play something like Droid Deployment or Confederate Courier, or something that would give you 2 units at once. For new cards, that would include stuff like do we have it over there? There they are, these Kijimi Patrollers, which give you like a tie token plus themselves when they come out. That way you can't get like Power of the Dark Sided and get kind of blown out. And then you have like at least 1 unit, even if they somehow remove the first unit you play or something. And then you can play like a 5-cost card like Kraken. But Kraken was kind of the best thing to be doing with that, at least in the green color combination. But with Jump to Light Speed, we've got some really awesome new cards that can synergize with that, including stuff like Invincible. So Invincible here, 6-cost, 6/6 Separatist space unit, but it costs 1 less while you control a Separatist card or unique Separatist, which counts Dooku in the leader zone. So really this costs 5, so you can get this out turn 2. Invisible Hand, you cannot get out turn 2, but the new Invisible Hand it has a when played and when completed attack ability, which allows you to search the top 8 cards of your deck for a droid that costs 2 or less. So it's kind of built for the Swarming Vulture droids. Now I'm just back down to 3 because I'm kind of like toss up between like Viper Probe droid you can pull off of this, the B1 security team you can pull off of this. Let me see if we got it. Okay, there they are. Just so my face is not blocking those cards. But even like stuff like Separatist Commando, which are really, because they get raid when you've got a Separatist out, they hit for 4. So really, Swarming Vulture droids are good if you get like a lot of them out. If you like hit but they still turn into basically like, if you get this off a triple dark raid or something, you're really just getting 2 of them out, which puts about 6 power on board. Which is okay, but you can also do that just by using these other cards that aren't 2/2s already, right? So like if you only pull 1, I mean, it's like really rough. You have to like fill your deck with them, and then you're kind of like almost have to like, at least like when I'm building this, it's hard to like have board presence on the ground, which I think is still kind of necessary. I don't think you want to be like completely ignoring the ground. At least like in this deck, Dooku comes out quite late. I don't think you can ignore the ground arena and then just like fill it up just with the Vulture droids. Although, I mean, like maybe it's worth seeing if like that kind of a rush can help, and then putting in stuff like Victor Leader. But currently I'm just have stuff like the Viper Probe droid, the B1, the Separatist, just because like if you pull like 2 of these off or something, I mean, you can be hitting 2 of these commandos off. You can be hitting, or like at least threatening 8 like when you untap with it, which is quite good. But hitting like off a triple dark raid, getting those invisible hands, getting those invincibles. We've also got like patrolling AATs, which I mean, like are a card you almost never see, but I think are pretty good like when you're running like lots of triple dark raids. We've got the patrol fighter, which is like an easy turn 2 play for 3 once you exploit, although you don't need to use Dooku to do that because it's already got the exploit. But especially with all the pilots going around now. You can pretty easily like they'll play some like a pilot on there, like Black One or something like that, and then you can just like bounce it back and kind of basically time walk them, or basically make it like they didn't have a turn 1 and turn 2 play, especially if they're like going first. You know, really kind of like blow them out. So I've been having a lot of fun with this, a lot of success, especially like major. Like what you want to do is be getting this invisible hand out like as soon as you can. If you get it off a triple dark raid, even better, because you get that when played and when it completes an attack trigger, plus then you can play it right back. It has played pretty well into stuff like Han as well, even like unadjusted Han list, just because like if they're bouncing, so a lot of this stuff has like ETB abilities, so if they like bounce it, you're just gonna play it and get more stuff off of it anyway. The stuff like the patrol fighter when played, invisible hand when played, so it's really actually like worked out quite well for me so far. But it's still like early stages of the deck. I'll publish the list on Carabast, although like I said, it might be a little funky with the vulture droids depending on when I publish it, but we'll see how that goes. Anyway, I will see you in the matches here in a second. Alright, as you can see, we are on Petranaki for right now. I am not exactly sure. I'm sure there will be quite a lot of posting about what's going on with Carabast and that kind of thing right now. I'm really not sure. I know that Carabast is under a different team of developers, and the original developers, well, some of them at least, like Oot the Monk, are now on this place, Petranaki, which has like this. So I don't know, like if when Carabast comes back, if it's going to be the same engine, if it's going to be a different engine, or what exactly is going to be going on with all that. But we'll just see. Okay, so first here we are going up against Sabine ECL, the kind of deck we all know. We'll see if Invincible is fixed. I messaged them in the bug Discord to see. Let's see here. I think, like, do we keep the barrage? Do we keep the patrolling AT-AT? I think we're gonna honestly keep this because we can use this up here and then get this patrolling thing out. But we'll see what they're on. I mean, this is like a strict, I think, upgrade to like stuff like Green Squadron. We can also bounce stuff with the patrol fighter, which will be pretty good. We're going to resource that surprise strike. 9 times out of 10 you want to keep those, but we're just kind of getting a feel for the deck. Like, this has been just, you know. Okay, so first things first, we will kill that so that they can't wing leader it or something like that. Got Sabine's masterpiece, so we can bounce that, which I think is probably the play here, although I didn't really need to click that ability, but because the patrol fighter's got its own bounce, so we'll just do that. It keeps them with no board going into turn 3, which I think is a fine place for Sabine to be at. Now this Kraken can be good to get. Okay, so let's see if they just like immediately dark saber her. I guess if they do that, we can still drop the patrolling AAT and keep some damage off of us for a second. What they play next will give us a pretty good idea of where they're at. Although we can like invisible hand, we could potentially keep them off with an okay, interesting. I think it's just like whether we invisible hand or AAT. I really think we're just gonna go for the invisible hand here, and we'll see if we can like pull. What can we pull? Just like Vulture. I guess we have like Viper, and you can always pull stuff like this. It just goes into your hand. You can't play it for free, but sometimes that's okay too. I think let's just get this in case we like draw into a. Also see what they've got. So they got a Chewie, a Wrecker, of course a Wrecker, and Rebel Assaults. Is this a Rebel? Yeah. Okay. So and they can put Chewbacca into that and turn it into a 6. So we want to claim probably if they don't hit us with Sabine. That way we can kill it. Yeah, they're going to claim there because they know what we're going to do. Because if they did not do that, we were just going to kill all that with Invisible Hand and stuff. Here we do have double overwhelming barrage, which I think will help out like quite a bit. We'll resource this courier, because if they play Chewie first, are they just going to do that? Okay. Well, we wipe them then, because a barrage on this will deal lethal to both of these things. Sabine's Masterpiece just has 3 health, and their leader has 5. Now the ECL to Wrecker comes out next. And that's why they're like claiming. Which is sort of frustrating, because I mean, like, I can put out the patrolling AAT, but they're still gonna get like 7 on base, I think, no matter what I do. Unless I can like find a way to not have a okay. Yeah, because like this B1. Geez. B1. Oop. Okay, I mean, I guess. That way they still have to nuke it. Okay, so really now it's just like a matter of if we're surviving. But they have to spend everything to do that, and we can just kill the Wrecker as well. And they're going to be going down on their resources. Okay. Let's see here. What do we do? Well, if we pull a droid, that droid with ambush, we could also just play that. I don't really want to put my barrage on this. Do we run into any of those, though? Got like more B1s and Krakens. But I think no matter what, we need to get rid of that Wrecker. So we're probably going to have to barrage. So what is better for us? I mean, like, we got lethal on them anyway, because I don't think maybe this doesn't matter, right? Because like, unless they... I'm just trying to think of like an out for them, right? I mean, like, how do they beat us in this scenario? Because like we can easily just do this barrage again here. Kill the Wrecker. I mean, they don't have a board. Unfortunate Dooku's on us. Yeah, so they're just gonna GG us. We'll GG them back. But I mean, hard to come back. I mean, like, from any deck, if you get off like double barrages, you know. But I think you like see the strength of this deck too. Like, if that Invisible Hand sticks out, you do have like quite a bit of play. Being able to rougher when stuff has overwhelm, like into Sabine. But you like against a lot of other decks, these are quite good because they tie up the ground and it makes it like really annoying to try and like get into your base. And you can also just like pull. Like pull some of those other droids, even stuff like Kraken if you need, and you know, just straight play them, like if you're not in a position. Although I think like 9 times out of 10 you want to be getting, you know, like all of those 2-cost units, because there's like quite a bit of them in the deck, and it puts out like just the Invisible Hand with a Separatist Commando is 10 onboard damage on their base each turn by themselves, because of the raid 4 and stuff. So it's like quite a bit of damage if they like cannot interact with Invisible Hand. And since it's in space and it's a 6/6, there's not like a Wrecker version, like a space Wrecker that can come out on 6, and you get this out quite early in Dooku because you can get it out on 4, and there's nothing at 4 that can kill the 6/6 in space like very easily. I mean, stuff like Surprise Strike, you can kind of do that. But anyway, we'll get into the next game here in a minute. All right, going up against a another aggro deck, Leia Red. So let's see what we got here. Okay, so this courier should, assuming that we didn't try Invincible last game, so this might be a good opportunity to do that. We will see if we can get Invincible out on 5, like we should be able to do, leading with a Confederate courier. So we'll resource 1 courier, resource this Vulture droid, just because they're like a 2/2 for 2 is just not super great unless you're kind of getting them out. right for free. So they've got the same lead as that Sabine deck did. Okay, here we'll just get rid of the commandos. These are kind of, I mean, just stuff to be pulling out with Invisible Hand, less so stuff to be okay. So now is a kind of tricky thing. We can keep this damage and all this stuff off our base with a surprise strike, which is what I honestly think we want to do, because they are tapped out at 0-3, and we can surprise strike that, which leaves us with a token, which means we can Invisible Hand right away, and that keeps all of this off. And they're also get card disadvantage with this a bit. I mean, because they're like playing all of this. Although Luke, right. Okay, Luke seems very good, I guess. I'm still kind of learning some of these new cards, because they'll like come out on the ground, and then he can kind of mess with us. So, too bad though, because if they're smart, they're just going to kill our token. But we'll see if they try and like push damage on our base or not. But I guess it keeps damage off our base for a turn. It's just rough, because then we're gonna be like a turn behind almost. Well, okay. Great for us. Great, because that leaves our original plan still open. So what we're gonna do is, I think they're just on like one. I don't see like any way for like one that they're gonna get rid of our droid, so I might as well hit their base. Then we can get out our Invisible Hand, and maybe, let's see, okay. The Invisible Hand, and hopefully draw our B1s. And we got a Vulture. Oh, wow. Wow. Out of 8. This is, you know, highly unusual. Usually you got at least 2. And we don't really have a choice there, but might as well. Especially droids, because sometimes you hit other droids. Do you have a triple dark raid? So we would be looking for invincibles there. Kijimi patrollers is fine. We can like wipe them with this barrage here. Leia comes out with the 6. I wonder if we though want to be like seeing what we need to do here. Getting highly unlucky with these in that we are not hitting our B1s to get that base protection. So maybe it's like this commando. It's like, are we pressing the damage or not? I think we will try though, because they're on 25 health and we can put out quite a bit. Although we're missing the 2 from the barrage, because I'm trying to save that for Leia. Like, I'm assuming that they are playing that they're going to drop Leia here in a second, and we want to be able to probably kill her, although they're going to be maybe forcing our hand here, because they can like kind of slow down these actions a bit, and then we're going to be kind of out of luck. Now we could triple dark raid and try and get a tank, and then maybe sack. I mean, like, we can still play stuff like we can do triple dark raid on 3. We can still get Kraken out on 3. This should be 4. Wait, 1 less, so it should be 5. Again, that's like 3. So we're in like a weird spot. I think like what we need to do though, kind of forcing our hand here with this barrage, but let's get rid of Luke and this A-Wing at least. So A-Wing will do the 4. Luke, actually, I need to undo because he did the math there weird. Okay, so we can hit all of these. I was just doing the math based on 6. So A-Wing will be the 4, Fleet Lieutenant, just 2, and then Luke for the rest of the 2. They're just going to drop Biggs, and then they're going to drop Leia, and then they've kind of like played like everything, right? They're just trying to super aggro. Like, what could we do? Like, we can Kraken. But it's really not, I don't think it's like worth it. Is it to put like 2 more? Not for all of this, because this is 12 base damage. We'll see. Okay, and especially if they start doing stuff like that. Okay, here's a B1. Let's get rid of this Kraken. This B1 will keep some off of their base. So this droid commando is really good too, because we can just kill Leia right away. That will keep that off. So we'll get rid of Leia. So we got 6, but like, let me see. We can keep. We'll try this to keep it out, and then we drop like Dooku next. So there's 6 on there. Okay, so here we go. Finally we get into our rhythm. So if we can like keep doing this, this will hold them off for a moment at least. Syndulla, I don't think it's gonna do anything because I think it's also weird on their end because like I can just claim here, hit them for the 6. Although, what do I put? What if we don't? Let's see. Put them at 17. They claim. They go first. Really though, I feel like I should just claim. I don't know if I'm thinking too much about this, but I feel like I just claim here. It's not like they can kill me. Double, triple dark raid. Really resources, like I honestly end up like resourcing that invincible like so much. So we'll attack with that first. We'll put them at like 24. Unless they have like some way to like overwhelm us. Okay. Yeah, I mean they do like 11 damage with Big's Darklighter somehow. Don't know how that would work. We could also like the triple dark raid and try and get out the tank, but which I think we would have hit because there's one there. Okay, they're just gonna concede there, I think. But I think you see. Well, let me see the top of my deck. Right, so here, like what I was thinking about, because we hadn't seen the tanks yet, and if you're doing a good job, kind of keeping track of what is in your deck, then you can kind of see that, right? So triple dark raid pulls off the top 7. So we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right? So this whole first row. So we could have also done triple dark raid into this patrolling AAT and pulled that out, which is a sentinel, which also would have just like stopped all of that damage right there. I mean, they knew, I mean, they were dead either way, dead multiple ways, but if you're trying to be like optimal and kind of really competitive about it and keep that in your mind, I mean, like you need to be keeping track of like what you've seen through that too. So I mean, I was kind of thinking the AAT would pull off the top, and it was right there. So anyway, they were, yeah, I don't know if there's much else to go about this. I mean, like there's like quite a bit of damage these aggro decks can put out, like quite a bit, but even just stuff like this, if you can like run multiples of these out plus those tanks, I might end up going, I think I'm just on 2 of those tanks currently, but for the amount of times that they're useful, I'm honestly kind of back and forth between like if I need this many invincibles or that many Krakens. Krakens are quite good if you do not draw into like your invisible hands and your invincibles, so they give you like something to do on the second turn. So I don't know, Krakens are quite good, so I'll probably leave them, but maybe like these invincibles, I really just find myself resourcing them unless I for some reason am not able to get an invisible hand, but usually you can get into the hands. We will go into the next game here in a sec. All right, looks like we are still trying to load. Slowly going through. We are facing another one of those top meta decks besides Sabine, Jango TT on Target Town. So they got some quite good new tools in this and jump to light speed, stuff like IG-2000, which I think is IG-88 ship. Get off like a triple ping on stuff. So there's a whole lot of ways for them to tap down a whole lot of stuff. And if this deck has any weakness, it is a little bit into that kind of stuff, just because all of the like the battle droid tokens, and even like with the Kijimi patrollers making like TIE tokens and stuff, a lot of the tokens, the evil tokens, they're not as beefy as the heroic tokens. So a lot of pinging will just shut them down. It will kill all the tokens. So you're even like these Confederate couriers. So some of the stuff, I mean, like Confederate couriers are okay because even if they like ping them, they'll leave the token. So or stuff like wartime trade official and blue are a little bit better into that. Looks like they might be almost about to be timed out though. I was going to keep this hand just because of, we'll give them a second to see if they reconnect, but because of the Confederate courier doesn't mind the ping, so even if they use something to get rid of it, and also kind of Tarkin Town is kind of bad into tokens because they only got 1 health anyway, so they don't want to, that's not going to help them out that much. So good in one respect, but we can Confederate courier, even if they get rid of it, we'll still get a token. And we also have like the triple dark raid, so we can get invincible off of that, plus we can get the tank off of that if we need to, and there's a lot of hits for that in the deck. So that's what we'll be going into turn 2, probably looking to resource the security team and the commando here, but looks like they're disconnected. We're gonna just claim victory and go on into the next game. All right, against another newer deck this time. So we got Boba Fett focusing on the new kind of indirect damage, I believe. You've seen that deck around a little bit now. This, I mean, is good with the patrollers, but we're not hitting. We got no Kraken, we got no invincible, we got no invisible hand, so, and also no triple dark raid. So I think this is a mulligan. Okay, so this is significantly better. We have these patrolling things. Subjugating Starfighter is pretty good, I think, into these space decks also, but it's like, I think we're really looking to Confederate Courier into the Invincible here. I don't think, it kind of sucks to resource both of our patrolling AATs at this point, but just kind of how it works out. We'll do Confederate Courier. Okay, so this is a really good, if you've ever played against this deck, this is a very good opening hand for that. They've got 6 on the base just from that. B1 is okay, and maybe we'll like hold them off, but even then, let's see, it's just like, are we trying, they're on 30 and we're on 30, so it's just like, can we race, can they race? I really think, even though I don't really like it, the B-Wing is the best answer. Well, not the B-Wing, the B-1s. Just because we cannot let them put all of that damage on our base. So we'll have to put that indirect damage on our base here. And now they'll probably use Boba Fett's ability to give us another indirect damage, which we're also going to put on the base. There's a lot of clicking. I'm unsure. Oh, because it has like when defeated trigger. So see all this damage already. And that's from a unit that died. So they would be having more damage on our base if that unit did not die. So we're just going to keep doing this. We can't really use that to get anything else out. When we get to the overwhelming barrage, I think we will be in a good spot because a lot of their stuff has, probably don't need 2 invincibles. The subjugating Starfighter is pretty good. We have the initiative, so we will get the token, and we can run that token into the Stormtrooper. It only has 1 health, so we're going to lead with this. Resolving the ambush and getting rid of that. And then when that dies, how much is that? Like 3? This is like, yeah. So I mean, I think this indirect damage thing will be a thing, right? So I put that all onto the base. We take, we're up to like 9 already, right? Which is like quite a lot, but I think we kind of have to. But the amount of damage that this can put out is just really kind of insane, right? Because then I get 3 more, so we're already at like 12 from all of that, and then Boba's putting like another one, and we kind of have to do that because like we need, I mean, like we could stop damaging them, I guess, and maybe that's like the answer, but like we can't put it on the battle droid. We kind of need to run that battle droid into that Stormtrooper. So, but I think since we claim here, the problem is, yeah, because of that, like, we don't have, like, a big barrage. thing. So I think, when does Boba come out? 6? At least that's alright. Just like, but if they like hit us for 5, I mean, like, we can't kill that. So maybe I made a misplay with the Starf. I don't think so though, because it kept some like when we're taking the 5. I'm like, well, I could have played the Invincible. We could have used the Barrage because it couldn't have killed it, and then we could have done the Barrage on the Invincible. But like, it's still just like a crapshoot, kind of. I think we're just gonna put that on the droid, to be honest. Because we need to start keeping some of that off our base, and maybe we'll see. I mean, I don't have a choice here. As far as triple dark raid goes, we don't have like space sentinels, but I mean, if we can hit invisible hand or another invincible, that already resource 1, yeah. It'll be alright. I mean, like, we can also run it into it. It bounces back. Invisible hand's really what we're looking for, because we will get the wind blade and on attack trigger, and we can kill this, get 2 things out, and then play it again and get something else out. Which is kind of the play we need to be able to come back from this. Not sure. Let me see. Refresh. In like a, kind of commanding position at this point in the game, but we'll see. I'm not sure, maybe we got disconnected somehow or something. Five seconds left. Okay, we'll give them a minute anyway. So I'm assuming that they'd hit us if we go up to 19. We play triple dark raid. I mean, like, we might claim victory here in a second, because then I think we can see like what was in the deck, see like kind of what would have happened. But we're really looking to triple dark raid, invisible hand here. Triple dark raid lets us look at the top 7. And then we're probably just playing, because we already got 2 of the 3 Vulture droids in our deck. We're probably just looking to get pull out some commandos and stuff. Maybe another B1. Just because what they can do is, like, even if we get rid of this TIE silencer, like with that, I think we'll just claim here, just because I don't think they're coming back. Let's look at the top. So we got 7. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. So this is not great either. I think it must mean our invisible hands are like way deep in here, multiple turns away. So in this scenario, I think like what you're doing is you're pulling the patrol fighter. It bounces non-leaders with 3 or less, which is really good into piloting stuff, because at the very least what we're doing is we're bouncing the Kylos TIE silencer back to the deck. It will knock the Boba Fett pilot off. They'll probably replay it, and then they will try and like deploy Boba onto it next turn, I would think, although it kind of depends. I wish it would kind of show you what was in their hands or something. It really only shows you your deck, but that's it. But then we're in like a rough spot, because we dig 7. Those go, I think, like on the bottom, right? And then, which puts us to, we draw in the Kajimi patrollers, and we draw the droid commando. We do not have another triple dark raid, so we are then barraging. But I mean, at the very least, the Geonosis patrol fighter bounces back to our hand off of the triple dark raid, which means it makes it a little bit weird for them to put Boba on that, at least. But I mean, I think they probably win this game, just because of like the amount of damage that we'd have on us at this point. They'll deploy Boba to the ground, and then we're kind of in a rough spot because we don't have like anything out. Alright, let's see. Looks like we're going against Poe ECL, probably similar to that Sabine build earlier. I don't think we will mulligan here. I don't see my face anywhere, so I apologize if it has completely disappeared or is there, but I just cannot see it any longer. But I don't see it on my screen, so we'll do droid deployment here because we can get out these things. We'll claim here. This allows us, since we have initiative, to subjugating starfighter is quite nice in this kind of a scenario because we can ambush into that, kill it, and then we still have the same amount of droid tokens here. I don't think the patrolling AAT is super good into this matchup, just because they don't go into the ground quite so much. But we can subjugating starfighter, get rid of that. We get our token back though because of our initiative, and then they don't have anything to deploy Poe onto, which is why the patrol fighter is pretty good, because could also just bounce the Luke here. It's just like, do we push the damage, or let's see. We would have to 1, 2. We could sacrifice like both battle droids to bounce the Luke after attacking. I think that's probably what we do here. I think they will claim, so we're just going to do that, and both of those, because it's got exploit by itself, bounce that Luke. And then we've got a board, and they don't have a, whoop, table moved a bit there. Okay, so triple dark raid, let's see what we pull off of that. Hopefully, oh my gosh, no big starships. We can hit a subjugating starfighter, I guess. Might be worth it to run into there. Because they don't have, like, they can't. So we attack, and then we can do that. So, I mean, they kind of like wasted their whole turn with that. Here's our invisible hand. I'm gonna just deploy Poe to the ground there. Which is alright. I wonder, we'll just hit, and then I'm already on 7, we're on 0. I think, okay, so here, we might get the hand out. And then, as far as like what, so they've got like Poe on the ground already. I think what we do here is the security team. Just because if they have to run Poe into that, he becomes quite vulnerable to the barrage. I think we claim here. We do like 3 and then 5, which almost kills the Poe. Doesn't quite kill the Poe. But we'll keep quite a bit of damage off of us if we kill that Chewbacca. Chewbacca, we gotta deal the 3. Poe, we gotta deal the 5. And we can deploy Dooku quite soon. Let's see what we got here. I really want something that is free. Let's get the, it's either between like the commando. I mean, the probe droid is good to just see what's in their hand, but the commando deals 4, so we'll just go with that. Okay, we can claim here. So our first attack will put them up to, what is this, 6, 21. Although, what are they on? They got like Luke on here, because then like Luke, does Luke deploy readied? Okay, he's exhausted at the very least. We can attack. I mean, they're just like not close, right? I mean, that's a good thing for us because we can hit the base, and then we can just like deploy. I mean, like even this will keep them off of us. But even if we hadn't drawn into this B1, we could do the patrolling AAT, and then I mean, like Poe's not hitting us either way. But since we got it, might as well use it. And then they're dead to the Separatist Commando, I think, unless, okay, they can blow it up with Wrecker. Oh, did they ambush it though? Energy Conversion Lab B1. Okay, it's there to use it maybe. I don't think it matters because let's see here. I mean, like we just do that and then we deploy Dooku and then we kill them. I mean, I guess we could have just deployed Dooku anyway, because, I mean, they'll deal 7 and 5 and whatever else, but that is, like, nowhere near enough to be able to kill us off of that. Okay, I just like concede there. So we'll GG them there. Yeah, especially being able to start, go turn 1 and straight into like a subjugating starfighter is quite good when you're able to do that, just because it like replaces itself basically, like whatever token that you have to exploit to it. But yeah, so I'm not sure. I mean, they needed to kind of keep a board presence, which is kind of hard to do. Like if you're focusing on like a resistance X-Wing and then planning to like put a Chewbacca on it or something like that. If someone has an ambush that they can play either turn 1 or turn 2, I mean, you're kind of opening yourself to getting like blown out that way, and then you're trying to like catch up the whole game. But we'll go. Probably this will be enough games for today. I think I'll go into just a kind of outro here in a sec. Alright, I think that will be it for today. I think I showcased the deck pretty well, at least how it is so far. Like I said, I just kind of threw this together myself off of the top of my head, so I'm sure there's like more stuff that can be kind of ironed out, smoothed out going forward. So if you've got any good ideas, or maybe you've been playing Dooku, whether it's Dooku Red, Dooku Yellow, Dooku Blue, anything like that, and you think there's like something I'm missing, I'd be happy to hear it. I think this deck is just like really fun. It's just like fun to play, kind of like matches my play style. There's also some kind of sneaky stuff that you didn't really see come into play during any of the games. The Separatist Commando having Raid 2 hits up for 4, and then with like the Surprise Strike, it hits up for 7 damage, which I think takes a lot of people by surprise, because it can take out 7 health leaders, Krennic, Quinlan, things like that. So it can hit up like quite a bit larger than I think people are immediately thinking, especially because it's a card that people don't use quite as much. So here's the build, at least as I've kind of currently settled on it. Like I said, when I was playing, I was kind of hovering between like 2 patrolling AATs versus like the 3 invincibles. So I've gone down by 1 invincible, up the patrolling AAT by 1. As far as sideboard goes, I didn't sideboard in any matchups. A lot of this sideboard is kind of just geared toward a control deck, just a generic control deck whenever they start to appear, just based on what I know of prior sets in their meta. Palpatine's Return is just good into decks that have like quite a lot of removal, especially because you can play it on stuff like Invisible Hand and just like pull it back out of your graveyard again. So you're basically like paying 6 to get your Invisible Hands back, which I think if this deck ends up being something is really like what you want to be doing. The Waylays and the No Good to Me Dead are just split. I think No Good to Me, I mean, they're good into kind of different decks, depending. And then Unmasking the Conspiracy is not a card you see all the time, but it's just like, I think, a pretty good discard. There's not a lot of draw in this deck, but being able to like peel out like a Key Res Barrage or peel out a Super Laser Blast or something like that when you need, because you're not really worried about Avengers, I don't think, in this kind of a list, because the Invisible Hand is basically kind of like nerfing that each turn, and a lot of your cards like these Kijimi Patrollers and Droid Deployments don't really need to worry about that, but there are a handful of cards I would think from traditional control lists that you probably should be worrying about, and the like Super Laser Blast, maybe like Evacuate if that becomes a thing, and having like the 3 copies of Revealing the Conspiracy, you might as well just like toss a Surprise Strike to them or something like that, or like a Droid Deployment even, just to kind of like secure your board and kind of see their hand. Stuff like Viper Probe Droid being in the deck is also quite helpful with direct discard effects, because you can kind of like see what they would be doing. It just like helps out in that regard. I do think there might be like a more space oriented version. I have just never felt happy when I have played a lot of the Vulture droids, because I feel like I get blown out on the ground, and I feel like I really kind of need these security teams and need these patrolling AATs, which is also why I upped them from the 2 up to 3 and took down by like 1 invincible. But I'll post a link in the description. I hope you try it out. Like I said, I think it's just like fun to run, kind of fits my play style. I'll post it down there. If you play a while, like notice anything, like I said, that I've missed or that you think has been working out really well for you, like I said, I'd love to hear it. I'm excited for Jump to Light Speed and the pre-releases next weekend, so hopefully I win some and can give you some event recaps on that. But as always, subscribe if you like this kind of content. It really does help me out, get these videos out on time, make more of them. The more more people that watch them, more people comment, more people that like and sub. So if you are so inclined, please do that. It does help me out. Thanks. Goodbye.